Please welcome Lucas Kettle.
I'm driving home on the freeway, your sunshine in my eye. The radio is singing a sweet child of mine. There's mountains all around me, seem to go on for days. Yeah, I remember that old cabin before I went up in a blaze. And it's so easy to lose your sense of time. I'm realizing that you're leaving your present behind. Back to those old days when nothing seemed to go wrong, where we stayed singing that song all night long. The car meets on the Friday, we had nowhere else to be. You were in my front seat, sitting next to me. It's so easy to lose your sense of time. Now realizing that you're leaving your present behind. Back to those old days when nothing seemed to go wrong, where we stayed singing that song all night long. Sometimes I often wonder, is this town or is it me? It's constantly changing from the way it used to be. It's so easy to lose your sense of time. Not realizing that you're leaving your present behind. I'm back to those old days when nothing seemed to go wrong, where we stayed singing that song all night long.
Hey folks, this is Sam Roberts.
Hey, this is Kim Mitchell.
This is Hannah Georges.
This is Matt Mays.
This is Derry Graham from Honeymoon Suite, and you are listening to...
You're listening to
And you're listening to
The Hulk Caesar Show.
Welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show. I am your host, Hulk Caesar, alongside my illustrious co-host, Newfoundland songbird, Emily Malloy. Emily, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
A big thank you to Lucas for kicking off the program. We'll have more from him a little later on. Now, before we get to our first guests, it's time for another of Hulk and Emily's Creature Features, where we highlight a forever friend available for adoption at the local SPCA. Here we go.
These kill me every time. Meet Baby Spot. Baby Spot is a very special boy over at the SPCA shelter. He's quite shy and prefers doing his own thing, but he has a gentle story that shows just how much love he can give.
Now, Baby Spot was born and raised outdoors. He formed a close bond with a kind man who cared for him and gave him freedom to come and go. He trusted this person deeply and even sought out affection from him. When his caretaker noticed that life outside was becoming difficult, he brought Baby Spot into the SPCA in hopes of finding him a loving place to call his own.
Since arriving at the shelter, Baby Spot has been understandably nervous. He's still getting used to people and may greet pets with a little hiss, but he does accept gentle affection. With time, patience, and understanding, we believe his sweet personality will truly shine.
Now, Baby Spot may never be a lap cat, but he will be a quiet, loyal companion who appreciates your presence and, of course, mealtime. His ideal home is a calm, quiet environment with no young children. A confident cat friend to help guide him would be great, and a cat-savvy dog might be okay with slow introductions.
If you have a patient heart and a peaceful home, Baby Spot could be your perfect match. Contact the SPCA at the information on the screen to meet Baby Spot. A big thank you to our friends at the St. John's SPCA for all the great things they do for our furry friends.
And if you end up adopting Baby Spot, let us know, and we'll send you a Hulk Caesar Show prize package.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
We'll come up with something.
Well, tonight's first guests are the three brains behind the Cove Bouldering and Cafe, St. John's premier bouldering gym. They've managed to combine two of the most addictive things on the planet, climbing and caffeine, and in doing so, created a surprisingly tight-knit community that loves to hang out. Together, they run the Crag N Coffee podcast. Joel, Thatcher, and Daniel, welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
This is awesome.
For people who haven't been to the Cove, how do you describe what it is and what makes it different from a typical gym or cafe?
Oh, there's so many little things that can make it different. Like it's very social in a pretty passive way. Like you don't have to know everybody to go in there and just feel kind of welcome. And that's true to both the Cove, but it's also true to climbing. It's just this weird vibe that's really cool. It's what dragged us all in. And you're going in to do a workout, but you're kind of solving these little puzzles. It's like Legos or video games for kids, but also for adults. And you kind of just bond with people over the common struggle, I guess, and all the fun that goes into figuring it out. And then, there's a sweet little kind of like third space that is the cafe to kind of hang out and have coffee and do all this stuff too. So all those things together are just kind of this weird little secret recipe that, people tend to like. And yeah, it's doing well for us, and we like to spend a lot of time there. So
now, can you kind of see the climbing from the cafe?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can see almost all of it from the cafe. We have a bar facing the wall, so you can like sit and drink your coffee or eat your sandwich and watch all the climbers.
Wow.
Amazing.
there is a back room we just added. We expanded last year. So if you don't like being watched from the cafe, there is a place to run away.
Yeah, to echo Joel, I think it's a real third place. It's where the community comes, the climbers, they drink coffee, they chat, they meet each other, they climb. It's cool.
Amazing. Now, climbing has really grown in popularity. What is it about bouldering that gets people hooked so quickly?
Probably just how simple it is. I've been trying to convince. I worked at Walnuts, the other local climbing gym, who we're very good friends with.
Yep.
I worked at there for a long time, and I've been trying to convince my mom to come climbing forever. Daniel's mom comes climbing all the time. My mom wouldn't do it for whatever reason. She wouldn't say. And anyway, she came in one day. I think her workout class at the Muse Center was canceled or something, and so we were around the corner, and she was like, "Okay, maybe I'll finally try." 15 years later, and she was just like, "Oh, that was not nearly as difficult as I thought it was." And so she was able to show up kind of on the spot without any gear, without any experience, did like a 10-minute little this is how you fall when you hit the ground, and was able to kind of climb up no problem. So it's just simple and a lot easier than you think. And as soon as people kind of just give it a chance, they realize how accessible it can be. And it has a high ceiling too. If you want to push yourself and try really hard, you can. It gets hard really quick. But there's such an accessible kind of angle to the sport, which is pretty cool.
And we're also always changing the climbs. So every week there's a new batch of climbs that you can work on.
I thought about that.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you might have climbed everything that you are personally able to climb. And then the next week there's new stuff you can work on. And you can do the easy stuff and then challenge yourself on that set. And then the next week there'll be something new.
Yeah, kudos to my mom. She's almost 70. She climbs 2 or 3 times a week.
Wow.
And she goes in, she doesn't, throw herself at the wall, but she climbs 25 climbs every time. And she's really proud of it. She goes in, she does her 25 climbs. She tries new ones sometimes. And she has a blast.
Amazing. Sounds like she's a real legend over there.
Oh, she's a legend.
Definitely.
She's chatty. She's chatty too. Everybody knows it.
She was an elementary school teacher.
So was my mother. So I get it.
Very chatty.
You're running a business, building a community, and now hosting a podcast. How did the idea for the podcast come together?
I think we were kind of thinking about it separately, and that's kind of how the business started. Daniel was thinking about starting a climbing gym, and me and one of the other partners, Steve, were doing it. We just kind of we're thinking about the same thing. Let's do it. And yeah, anyway, the climbing is just this weird like super hobby sport, and people can get really, really into it. Same with coffee. You know, when we opened the cafe, you know, I think Daniel and Thatcher might have been a little bit more into coffee than I was. I was drinking doubles from Tim Hortons and was kind of fine with it. And then as soon as we cracked into it, because we wanted the cafe, we wanted to do coffee really well. We realized how nerdy that was as well. So, you know, it's just such a thing that you can dive super deep into. But also, you know, even though the sport is super accessible, and I think this is why we really thought the podcast would be helpful, there's so much nuance to it. There's nuance in like the history of Newfoundland climbing, but also just how climbing works and how coffee works. And they're kind of hard things to crack into. So we thought that by having a podcast where we can maybe talk about things that we think would be helpful or, you know, insightful or interesting, that people in our community can get a little bit more out of, you know, the Cove or just climbing or whatever.
What sort of guests do you have?
Our first guest was one of Daniel's really good friends, David Bruno. So our very first episode was exciting because David was writing the new Newfoundland guidebook, which just came out this last summer. And it's the first one since 2007. So a lot has changed since 2007. So, you know, that was pretty exciting to talk about what goes into making a guidebook and then the scope of his book. And we had our coffee roaster, Ethan, on from Cape Coffee. They're affiliated with Bannerman Brewing. So they're a really, really good local coffee roaster. So we talked about the roasting process and about Cape Coffee and what they do. And then we've had a few local climbers on. We talk a lot about what Thatcher was talking about, route setting. We love route setting.
Yeah, we have 2 episodes about route setting.
What's that?
That's when you put the climbs up on the wall.
Okay.
So there's specific people who come and do it once a week called route setters. And they don't just like randomly throw the holds on the wall. They'll have an idea of what moves they want to do, what difficulty, and then you put it up. And then the route setters have to forerun it. So they have to climb it and change the holds to make it work, to make sure that the moves go for people of different sizes, like tall people, short people, and make sure that they're the right grades as well. They're not too hard or too easy.
Do they use any sort of computer software for that, do you know? Or
AI has not broken into route setting.
No, it's more like a mix between creativity and design.
Yeah.
People liken it to being a chef. You have your creativity, the plates, but you also have to have all the elements of a meal.
That's a good way of putting it.
For sure. Now, what have you learned about your own community just by sitting down and having these conversations on the podcast?
Good question.
You know, talking on the podcast, I love the sound of my own voice. So I'm just not really thinking about
I could never know what you mean.
But it's mostly come by talking to people after it's been over. We're like, who's listening to this? And it's surprising. Like we have one regular member, Weldon, who will probably listen to this too. And hey, Weldon.
Hey, Weldon.
And,
Hey, Weldon.
you know, it's great to just like chat with people to see what they picked up on, like what people don't know, because we're such nerds. Like
We're so immersed in everything. Like everything is such second nature to us. And
Like,
we'll
yeah.
say something. And
we're watching the World Cups and Daniel's listening to like the podcast where people are talking about like the most like cutting edge training things about how to get your fingers really strong. And then like some people are just like, how do you guys how do you put the holds on the wall? You know, like, yeah, just kind of figuring out what people are getting out of it has been super interesting. And it's been pretty wide ranging. Different people have really taken different things out of it. So
yeah. And we've talked about indoor climbing and also outdoor climbing. We're all also outdoor climbers. And when Daniel and I were thinking about starting the podcast, and what I was really interested in was telling stories about climbers, like the history of Newfoundland climbers, because climbing here started in the 90s and nothing's documented. There's like no books or articles or movies or anything. So we were like, we should get these stories from people before they're gone. So, yeah, I
maybe
think
a crusty blog post somewhere.
Those of us, those of us who were our teenagers in the 90s, we are close to death. I understand.
Exactly, before you guys all kicked the can.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to showcase some of the characters in the community.
Well, a good example is my last guest that I had. And I say my last guest because Daniel was out of town, and my guest was actually Thatcher, because Thatcher did a huge climbing trip to Devil's Bay, which is on the south coast of Newfoundland. So I had Thatcher and their climbing partner on to talk about that. And that was the whole episode. And it was super interesting because they went to do big wall climbing, which I won't get into here, but people were like, what is big? The climbers were like, what's big wall climbing? So we kind of got to go into this whole style of climbing while also kind of exploring the crazy nuances of Thatcher's trip. So it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Super cool.
For someone in Newfoundland who's never tried climbing before, what would you say to get them through the door for the first time?
You want me to take this one?
You've done this.
Just do it.
Do it.
It's St. John's. We've had like 40 snowstorms. I know you're bored by, like, especially in the winter.
And we don't close.
We
We're
don't
open.
close.
We're open all the time.
We
Every
close
day.
if Metrobus comes off the road, but like, you know, we don't close for any holidays because we're a restaurant. So we can say, anyway, it's so fun. It's the thing that you're not doing that you want to be doing. Climbing is just, you know, everybody should be active. Everybody should be exercising. The sport is for your entire body. It complements other activities that you might want to do, and it's just a really like good vibes place. And you know, everybody's looking for a good vibes place. If you're going to leave your couch or like leave work, then you're going to want to go spend your time somewhere meaningful. Then the Cove is the way to do it for sure.
Yeah, and like you don't have to be strong to climb. I grew up in Colorado, which is there's a lot of climbing, and I didn't climb when I was there because I had this preconceived notion of climbing being like really steep things and you have to be super strong and like be able to do a million pull-ups, but like
Like that movie Cliffhanger.
exactly. And I was like, that sounds so scary. I'm not doing that. I'm not that strong. And then I moved to Newfoundland and I started climbing. And Joel always says like, if you can climb a ladder, you can rock climb. Like my dad who is 70 comes all the time and like that man bikes a lot, but he's not like, he doesn't have upper body strength and he's just like, you know, cruising on the easy one. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't have the body for that. Like I wish maybe like when in my 20s I could have done that. But like literally you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah,
Everyone should do it.
a lot of people are like feel daunted by going to team sports. This is not that. You go in, you go at your own pace. There's no crowd cheering you on. It's really nice and peaceful if you want it to be. If you want it to be social, that's cool too. And another thing is that it's way more interesting than the gym. If you want some muscles and you hate going to the gym because it's boring, then go climbing.
Also, I've found like starting new sports, it's kind of scary when you don't know what to expect or you don't know what to do. And there's like, everyone already knows the rules and knows how to use the space. But everyone who comes through our doors, no matter if they've been climbing for 30 years or if it's their first day, they have to do the same orientation. And we walk through all of the rules, like how to figure out what color of holds to use, kind of like how you can approach it. And we have a bunch of beginner classes as well. We
do our best to make you not feel like a rookie.
Yeah, we just want everyone there, and like the staff is super friendly and social, and we're all just like, yes, come climb, like come hang out with us. It's super fun.
Awesome.
We should try to go climbing.
We should probably.
Yeah, you guys should come climbing.
Definitely.
We'll grease the wheel for you.
Oh, I do love when the wheel's greased.
we won't grease the hand rock. We'll grease the wheel, yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break from their appearance on the program 1 year ago this week. It's With Violet and The Things You Didn't Say, live on the Hulk Caesar Show.
Yes.
I didn't lay the cards I was holding. Took so long, the sky turned from black to golden. Lemonade. The smell of your perfume fades away. Every step I take, I look back and say I should have laid the cards I was holding. The sign said you're open, but I stood there hoping. When you wait too long and the lights go out and you're left standing in the rain, another day won't miss the things you didn't say. Cards he was holding took so long, the sky turned from black to golden. Marmalade, a modern day, he missed out with Daisy. Now he's left with love lost in days he spends whistling dial tones and the songs that she showed him. And the sign says you're open, but I stood there open. When you wait too long and the lights go out and you're left standing in the rain. Another day, won't miss the things you didn't say. Signs say you're open, but I stood there hoping. When you wait too long and the lights go out and you're left standing in the rain. Another day, another day. When you wait too long and the lights go out and you're left standing in the rain. Another day, won't miss the things you didn't say.
We are back on the Hulk Caesar Show with our guests from Cove Bouldering and Cafe, Thatcher, Daniel, and Joel. All right, I have to ask, what's the most memorable or funniest climbing fail you've ever had yourselves or witnessed at the gym?
At the gym? Oh, that's better. Yeah, there's some funny stories. You can check out our last episode for some of Thatcher's funny on-the-wall stories.
Yes.
At the gym, I don't know, Dan.
Good question. The gym.
On the fail, there's lots of wipeouts.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. Like we have huge pads. The pads are crazy. So if you wipe out, you're not. It's not game over. But sometimes people have to get really creative in the problem solving, and people try some weird things,
Crazy
and they'll end up taking some pretty funny falls. So yeah, that I don't know if that's a single story or if it's just a regular occurrence, but yeah, if you hang around the cafe enough and drink enough lattes, you'll see some funny falls.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, when people are doing their orientation, sometimes they don't want to do the fall because they're like, everyone's looking at me, but really no one's looking at you except for the staff. But sometimes the people, like when you're doing your fall, you're meant to land on your feet and then go onto your butt and then roll onto your back. And it is really funny as a staff member when you're like, okay, feet, butt, back. And they just like straight up go onto the butt or go onto the back. And you're like, okay, wait, no, let's do it together. And then they still can't land on their feet. So in those moments, we like lovingly laugh at them.
Yeah, new choreography. We call them fab falls, feet arse back, and it's actually a pretty funny thing. Regularly, when parents bring their kids in, the kids are a little young for the word arse, and we get them to say it. And
They love it.
They love it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you said a swear word.
That's amazing.
Definitely kids bring a level of humor as well. They can say the darndest things.
Oh,
I heard that.
150%.
Yeah, Daniel's a coach, so he deals with the kids a lot. And they get up to some weird stuff. Oh my God.
They're in their own world, for sure.
Now, for people who don't climb, what's something that always happens at a bouldering gym that would totally surprise them?
Oh, people falling from the top of the wall.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you just like drop.
Do you have the rope on?
No,
or
but the
just-
squishy pads are like
Squishy pads,
this
yeah.
big. And we teach you how to fall.
Yeah.
So people are like,
Yeah.
just like falling all the time, and it looks really dramatic for someone who
feet arse back, right?
doesn't watch.
Yeah, yeah. Bouldering. Back to your question earlier about like what you would tell somebody thinking to start. Like bouldering doesn't have any ropes or harnesses. You don't need another person. You can go in by yourself and just do it. So that's that. Maybe a weird thing you'd see if you go into the climbing gym is that climbers are often trying to premeditate like what the sequence is going to be because they have to problem solve. So you'll often go to the gym, and if you don't know what's going on, it looks very strange. People will do a root dance. So they're on the ground kind of waving their arms and their feet in a sequence.
Like the snowboarders and athletes in the Olympics.
Yes, exactly.
They
So they're doing this kind of
motions.
dance with their body. They have one leg up near their chest or something like that, trying to like simulate the move. And they look very alien, very weird, but it does help. It is an effective process.
Yeah, another thing that's funny is we have these brushes, like long brushes on painter's poles, so that you can brush the chalk off some of the higher holds. So you'll see that periodically if you're in the cafe. You just see climbers like just vigorously brushing plastic rocks.
It looks like we have a bunch of like volunteer cleaners or something like that.
That's amazing. Have any of you had a moment on the wall where you thought this is a terrible idea mid-climb?
we've all had that.
Oh, 100%. Not
Mostly-
indoors.
Yeah, mostly outdoors.
Outdoors for sure.
Yeah.
Indoors, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had them indoors too. Yeah, you'll get into like some kind of knee bar, some kind of funky sequence, then you're just like, oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, it's probably a lot lighter and more benign, consequentially. Indoors, outdoors, you can make some mistakes.
Ever take a big
For
fall
sure.
outdoors, any of you?
Oh, all of us.
Yeah.
These two more than me. I'm a boulderer outdoors, so I like to go outside with a little foldable mat you put on your back and go to the boulders. And these guys have both done it as well, but they're both big rope climbers. So they'll take big falls called whippers, which is when you're climbing up and you clip progressively as you go up. So sometimes you're above your last anchor point, and if you fall, you take this big swinging fall. It's very dramatic, called a whipper. Sometimes it's not dramatic, sometimes it is. And you can
I saw that in that Chris O'Donnell movie, and he had to cut his dad loose because he had too much weight.
Vertical limit.
Vertical limit. That was that was sad.
Yeah, there's some scenes.
That ever happened to you? You had to cut your dad because
Not yet.
No, you should watch the Climbers breakdown for that on YouTube. That's equally entertaining. But yeah, you can get in some pretty spicy situations.
Yeah, Daniel's just taken some massive whippers.
Yeah, I've taken definitely a few falls more than 40 or 50 feet.
Wow.
That's usually when I'm doing multiple pitches in a row, like hundreds of feet of climbing, and so you fall. There's lots of air underneath you, but it's still extremely long falls. Very scary.
Does sound very scary. I got down on my knees today to pick up a cable and almost stayed there.
Sometimes climbing is easier than picking up cables too. Yeah. And it's important to say when you take these big 40, 50-foot walls, you're on like a dynamic system, so you're kind of actually hitting pretty softly by the time it's over.
And I've taken many more 20 and 30-foot falls to work myself up to the courage to put myself in a risk that I may or may not take a 40 or 50-foot fall.
Oh my goodness.
Doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. But one of the cool things, just to contextualize all this, is like me, for example, I don't do a lot of these rope climbs because like it scares the living bejesus out of me. Like, some people have different like limits of exposure that they're willing to do, and you can still be just as much of a climber. So like, some people never leave the gym and they have good climbing careers. Some people take 50-foot whippers every weekend, and that's their thing. So you don't have to take a 50-foot whipper.
That was me in high school taking them 50-foot whippers.
If you're listening to this and be like, "What is climbing?" the top of the ladder is not Daniel taking a huge whipper with you. Right?
That's amazing.
Now, when you run into the space like this, I'm sure there are lots of personalities and irregulars or moments that have become part of the lore of the Cove.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's it's since the beginning of my climbing, it's been the personalities are what make it. Like the background is the climbing, and then the people that are doing the climbing are definitely the characters. They're the color. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, like our members, and we don't know who did this, but there's a meme page called the Cove Bouldering Memes, and it's like this group of climbers who come to the Cove who make memes out of stuff that happens at the Cove, and no one knows who they are, and they're like still active. And
But they're very good at pointing out the notoriety of our other members too.
Yeah, but they're also really sweet. They'll like always message us or message the person they're posting about, and be like, "Is this okay if we post this?" And they did a scavenger hunt at the Cove last year, I want to say, and they left this backpack full of prizes at the Cove, like weeks before they messaged us. It was in our Lost and Found, and then they messaged us and they were like, "In your Lost and Found, there's going to be this backpack with a lot of prizes in it. We're going to be running a scavenger hunt for the next couple of weeks." And so then people who followed the Cove, the meme page, did these little like scavenger hunt tasks, and then we gave them the prizes, and we still don't know who runs it. So
That's so great.
yeah, it's really cute.
What a fun community.
It is, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we have to relinquish control to some people because people want to do things in the space. Yeah, which is always for the best.
Yeah.
There's also this I guess it's an image. So there's youth climbers that are like generally quite strong because they were climbing since they were small. And there's a lot of adult climbers that they're varying levels of strength or skill level. But then you have these youth climbers that are often 12 or 13 years old that just casually walk up and just climb the thing that you're trying. And there's a level of like joking frustration.
Yeah, the evil
Just
team.
naturally good at
That's what
it.
they're called.
Yeah.
They
Rip.
also train a lot.
Some people would say this is the children's time, but not me.
Yeah.
My time.
How can folks get started with climbing at the Cove?
send us a message on Instagram. Pop in, walk on in, get a coffee, however you want. There's not really any friction beyond what you put it on there. I guess just knowing that it exists. So you guys are helping with that.
Yeah.
But bouldering specifically is just literally you come in and you just do this little lesson. Like you said, learn some fab falls. We tell you not to wear your climbing shoes in the bathroom, then you're ready to go. That's pretty much it. Like it's the easiest climbs in the gym are like we get on ladders to do the route setting. I'll tell you right now, the ladder is way scarier and sometimes harder than going at the easiest climbs. So if you want to try something different, like just, the only thing is you making the decision to just come and do it.
Cool.
Yeah. And you do have to book the orientation on our website. You can do that.
And where's your location?
We're down in the old Brookfield building, so down on like right up from downtown on St. Michael's Avenue, LaMarchant Road, just there by the Urban Market. Yeah, the Urban Market are our friends too. They're sweet. It's
What a
awesome.
nice neighbor to have.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. And I should also say that like Walnut's our competitor technically, but Crag N Coffee is its own thing. So I'll plug them as well. It's really easy to go rope climbing too. They have lessons to get started, but they have auto belays now. So even if you want to try rope climbing, you can go in and they have new machines that you just clip into. And you start climbing up, and you don't need to do a long lesson or anything like that. So
cool.
Yeah,
and
check
they
that
also
out
do
too.
have a bouldering wall, so you can do both of those things without having someone there.
Good to have variety, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Very cool.
I climb at Walnuts every Thursday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much, guys.
That was wicked. Tonight's music guest hails from Port aux Basques and has quickly become a staple of the St. John scene. His music blends country with blues, and his new single, Red Cabin, is available now where you get your music. Lucas Kettle, welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. It's good to be here in a nice controlled environment, sing some tunes, and the quiet,
Yeah.
It's great.
Nobody's screaming and drinking. Well, a little bit.
Can't complain about that either, though. That's a whole other animal, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the song you opened the show with?
As an original tune,
Nice.
it came out there in February. It's called Red Cabin. It's out everywhere, you know what I mean? All streaming platforms. It's just about, I'm only 25, but I guess it's about just growing up and just trying to like hold on to nostalgia. It kind of seems pretty popular nowadays, kind of hold on to that nostalgia, but it's just kind of try to like, you're kind of living in nostalgia. Like in 20 years, the show is going to be nostalgic for us,
Right.
for all of us. So,
true.
yeah, it's just kind of look at everything that way every once in a while,
Beautiful.
Awesome. All right. What do you have for us next?
This is another tune. It's called St. John's in November. We're in St. John's, believe it or not. Yeah.
We sure are.
And it's hard to say what this one's about, really. It's about, fuck me, I don't know. I don't know. Just coming from Port aux Basques, and you kind of see different walks of life here. You see the guy that's getting ignored in the street. He's kind of asking for a little extra to get by. You don't really see that in a small town, not as much anyway. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's just about you kind of see what's being ignored. That's the best way I can put it. So yeah.
Yeah, I moved on to St. John's in November, with desire for it to lead me one step further. Figuring out what I have to do to pay my bills and be happy too. Yeah, I moved on to St. John's in November. You're turning over the page to the next chapter. It wasn't nearly as hard as I remember. The streets are wet and the skies are gray. The folks still dance and the band still plays. Yeah, I moved on to St. John's in November. No one's ever gonna be satisfied while they're being forced to pick a side. Does it always have to be so black and white? Well, we're all just trying to survive. Around 10 o'clock we make our way to George. We strum a few tunes, take off out that door. The radio's off on the way home, but your sister digging a hole in my soul. Yeah, I moved on to St. John's in November. No one's ever gonna be satisfied while they're being forced to pick a side. Does it always have to be so black and white? We're all just trying to survive. Boy, it's getting harder to survive.
Wow.
So good. Excellent. Amazing.
Your writing is incredible. So incredible.
I'm trying. I'm trying, you know. How it goes.
Very good.
Lucas, as you mentioned, you are originally from Port aux Basques. Did growing up on the west coast of the island help shape your musical sound, do you think?
100%. Yeah. My, I mean, like I was, the influences I had were very close, if I can say that. Like, there's a guy home, Barry Mushel. Definitely want to call him out here. He is like the godfather of guitar back home, you know. I always look at him right now, you think he's in a 60s, he's just retired, like, and he's picking up all the cool instruments that he always wanted. And it's like, man, like that's what, yeah, you know what I mean? He had a modest job type deal, like, and he just made her work. So having those influences, being able to know him personally really helped big time, you know. Yeah.
Amazing.
Your music blends country and blues. When you're writing, does it lean one way more than the other, or does it just come naturally?
Yeah, leans towards blues for sure when it comes to writing stuff. Like, but I mean, you can't really sit and play 12 bar all night, you know. You know, I can't really do that for the whole night. But I mean, I guess blues is more than that too. Don't mean to bash it here. I love the blues, but I try to add flavors of both for sure, and they work good together.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
I think so anyway. I mean, I've seen other guys do it, like Marcus King. He's unbelievable, and he's mixing those two. Yeah,
sounds good.
Now, so you've been putting out music since 2020. How do you feel you've grown as a musician since then?
A whole lot. Yeah, a whole lot, man. It's like you're always looking back and being like, shit, I sucked. You know, like you're looking back at like, and it could be like 2 years ago, it could be like last year, and I'm like, man, what was I doing? Like, you know what I mean? So you're always growing, and you're always telling yourself that this is the worst it's going to be. So you just try to get better. And know that you're going to look back one day and be like, fuck, I was shit. You know, like I could be better. I can do better. So I always try to think that way, right? Yeah.
You've been playing regularly around St. John's. What have you learned from performing live that you can't get anywhere else?
Experience, like just straight experience, man. Like there's a muscle, right? Like, and that my point of like looking back and saying like, man, you used to suck. It's just because the muscle wasn't worked. You know, you really got to work it out, which is like anything else. It's like climbing. You know what I mean? You really got to put the time in, and over time, it gets easier and easier and easier and effortless and easier to do cool stuff that you might get into an entanglement and be stuck on stage. And you know, it helps you kind of get out of your comfort range a bit.
Good analogy. We have time for one more song, live from Caesar's Palace on the Boulevard, high above the mighty Kitty Vitty Lake. Lucas Kettle, what's it going to be?
I'll do another tune. It's called Always Here, another original one. It's came out in 2021, 22, one or the other. But yeah, it's just a sappy ass love song. Hope you like her.
What's it called?
It's called Always Here. Yeah.
And I've never felt this way, and I've never been enslaved to love like this before. The fear eats my soul of you ever being alone without me by your side. Please be with me tonight, and please let me hold you tight. And I won't let you get hurt. For you I'll fight the good fight. Whenever you're feeling alone, just ask and I'll sing you a song to remind you that I'm always here. Like a fairy tale it seems, and almost like I am living a dream from which I do not want to wake. Little things to make me laugh, make me lose myself so fast, and all of this is 'cause of you. Please be with me tonight, and please let me hold you tight. I won't let you get hurt, for you I'll fight the good fight. Whenever you're feeling alone, just ask and I'll sing you a song to remind you that I'm always here. With me tonight, and please let me hold you tight. I won't let you get hurt, for you I'll fight the good fight. Whenever you're feeling alone, just ask and I'll sing you a song to remind you that I'm always here.
Amazing. It's a great song.
Beautiful.
Very bluesy. I like it.
Love.
Lucas Kettle, thank you so much. Where can folks see you perform this spring and summer?
Well, your episode comes out within the next hour tonight at Houston. But yeah, I mean, Houston's quite regular. I mean, there's no really set day, but
yeah,
most weekends I'm usually down there. And I mean, other than that, you can follow me on Instagram to get the rest of it. Lucas Kettle Music. I mean, you type my name, it'll come up. Yeah, follow that. That's where I'm posting everything. And I'm working on getting the followers up on that. And I'm horrible at posting stuff. Short form content is not my strong point. So, yeah, if you're watching this, go ahead and follow the Instagram. You'll see all the shows, anything that comes up. And Squid Fest, too. Just mentioned that.
Oh, amazing. When's that?
July 16th.
Amazing. Where's that?
Holyrood.
Amazing.
On the festival grounds. I'm not sure exactly where that is, but
sounds
festival
fun.
Grounds. Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing. All right. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
It's now time to play everyone's favorite word game, Hulk's Half Sentences. Here's how it works. I'll give you a first half of a sentence, and you can finish it. Simple, right? All right. Let's give this a try. We've been changing the games up lately to see what happens here. So let's give this one. All right. Let's start over here.
I was so nervous.
No pressure.
If I were to start a cult, it would be centered around
rock climbing.
I think you've already done that.
I phoned that one in.
Good answer.
Oh, I do the same
we'll
one.
go right down the row.
Oh, fun. Okay. Oh, wow. Hard to follow up rock climbing. If I were to start a cult, I would make it around cinnamon buns.
Ooh, cinnamon bun cult.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fun.
I watched a 20-minute video about cinnamon buns today. It was great. Yeah, I'm on board.
They're sick.
I'm in.
You're already in the cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, some sort of. Let me think about this for a sec.
Sure, let's go to Lucas. Lucas, you got one?
Oh, I'm still thinking. I'm glad. I'm glad you're thinking because I'm thinking too.
If I was to join or start a cult.
Yeah.
A cult. I kind of have a cult.
You can't take mine.
What about high performance rock climbing?
Ooh, he's upping you on that one. We're gonna have a cult off.
If I were to pick a cult for Daniel to run, it'd be not sitting at your desk. He has a kneeling desk and a standing desk, but he doesn't sit.
Anti-sitting cult.
Anti-sitting,
I
I
like that.
Oh, yeah.
I hate sitting. I hate this right now.
I'm still thinking here. We'll start a cult.
Yeah.
Shit.
No wrong
I was
answer.
just looking at the guitar. I'm gonna start with that. A band, just a big band.
Yeah, you know, bands are
What's
kind
it
of,
called?
as a musician, you kind of got your cult already.
That's it,
You know,
man.
if you do it right, you got a cult.
I'm in a one-man cult right now, but yeah.
There you go.
I just started a big
Music
band.
cult.
That's what I do. That'd be my cult.
Yeah,
Can't
excellent.
leave.
Like the Grateful Dead.
Yes.
Emily, you got anything?
If I were to start a cult, it'd probably be something really stupid like reading or, Total Battle, the game I play on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it that game that no one knows if it's real or not?
Yeah.
It's real?
It is,
Oh,
but
okay.
it only lets you do those games for so long, and then it's all strategy.
It's
But
real
now
if you're
now
playing
I'm
it, though.
hooked.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If you're playing it, it's real. Right?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's real.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
well, a lot of it, like they do show things that don't actually ever happen. Like some of the games don't actually. Yeah, I was hooked. I got roped in.
I don't support cult-like behavior, so I'm going to pass on that one. My ideal final meal would be,
Final meal.
yeah, we're gonna execute you at midnight
All right, final meal.
for your horrible crimes.
Mate,
For your cults.
I gotta go with a burger, man. I'm sorry. It's just that's it.
Any particular burger?
Plain and simple. Particular burger.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Cheese kind.
What do you think?
Final meal. Definitely some nice like French 3 or 5 course meal. You have different vibes for different servings.
You better be in a high-class prison.
Yeah, I would say like, surely this exists. I don't know. If there was like a 3-star Michelin Korean restaurant, that's probably what I'd want.
I like it, and
Shooting
don't call me
pretty low
Shirley.
here, but it's- My last meal's pretty.
My mother's name is Shirley, and all I can think about is she makes this thing with leftover turkey. It's like a turkey leek puff pastry pie, and that thing just slaps so hard.
What a sad day for your mother, delivering your final meal to the execution room.
Yeah, that's true.
Emily?
Oh God. My last meal. I'm gonna be really gross because this is like my favorite snack, and everybody hates it. But I really like liver.
Oh,
Yeah.
What a twist.
I'd say it's good for you, but we're turning you off at midnight, so it doesn't
Yeah,
really matter if it's good
doesn't
for you or
matter.
not, I guess.
The nutrition.
I like steak and eggs. Give me a steak and eggs.
Yeah.
And maybe don't execute me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Were my crimes that bad? I don't know.
Maybe.
I had a bad lawyer. Let's do one more. Let me see. Let's get a good one here.
can I change my cult answer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Frick, yeah. Okay, so what I would do instead is that every week everyone would have to watch a movie. And then for that week, you have to act in that world.
Ooh.
That's my cult.
Oh, I went in that cold.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Thank
All right, well, let's follow up with the movie I've seen the most times in my life is.
That's no question. Princess Mononoke by Studio Ghibli.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen that way too many times.
Yeah.
I'd watch it again right now if somebody let me.
Sick. Mine is really a close call between Juno and 27 Dresses.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Good crossover there, I think.
Maybe the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the extended versions or the regulars?
There's a
It
right
doesn't-
answer.
It doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
think the extended are like, I don't know, it's a better experience maybe.
Yeah.
Longer, but
That's the right answer.
Yeah, good. Good, you passed.
It would have Interstellar, Tenacious D, and the Pick of Destiny.
Those are so
those two
good.
good.
You got them pretty. You're pretty far apart. on the
Wow, I like
spectrum,
that.
but yeah.
Take a Destiny.
I'm like split too. I'm gonna have to say either The Devil Wears Prada
I've never seen that.
or what?
I know. There's a second one coming out.
Everybody at work talks
You need
about
to
it, and I've
watch
never
it.
seen it either.
You need to watch it immediately.
Okay.
We should watch it for the
Done.
movie podcast.
Watch it tonight.
Yeah, it's so good. It's my comfort.
They will watch
movie.
it tonight.
Or Labyrinth, just because it's my
Never seen that either.
little boys.
You never
Oh
seen
my
Labyrinth? That's
God.
a good movie.
Put that one on
Emily,
the
you
list
have
too.
crazy taste. So niche.
I do. But it's really good. 10 out of 10. David Bowie's in it, and he sings in spandex.
I've never heard of it. Okay.
I've seen the same movie that Lucas has seen so many times, Interstellar. What a fantastic movie, or probably Inception. One of those two. I've probably watched them. Or the original Star Wars. When I was a very, very young boy in kindergarten, my mother was a teacher, so my dad worked at a bar in Old Perlican, was where we lived, and the bar didn't open until like 4 or 5 o'clock. So Dad would go at noon to kind of set up. So when I got off of kindergarten, I'd go to the bar and hang out with Dad while he was setting it all up. And they had one of those old school big projector box televisions, and they had the Star Wars laser disc.
Oh.
So I watched Star Wars every day for like the whole year.
That's amazing.
So probably Star Wars, original Star Wars, probably one I've seen the most.
Love it.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's about all the time we have this evening. Thank you to our new friends from the Cove Bouldering and Cafe for joining us, and to Lucas Kettle for that amazing performance. We got some guest gifts here for you. We'll get you to sign the flyer after, and we'll put that on the wall. And then
What? Where'd you get that? That's crazy.
How'd you do that so quick?
How did you do that? You're so fast.
Magician.
Oh my God, a gift.
Awesome.
We got you a gift card for the Cove too. Trade.
What? Oh, that's
I was
so
born in
cool.
1996. How did you know?
Hey, it's Baby Spot.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, thanks, man.
Guys.
It's Baby
great.
Spot. Do I get one too? This is so great because I just started junk journaling.
Same one. Oh no.
Oh my goodness. So we're me and you are
definitely going.
we're gonna go. Yeah, and we gotta get
definitely going
video evidence.
Oh yeah.
Put it in our. Yeah.
So what you guys got there, that's our show zine. I gave you guys all 3 volumes, so you'd have the full collection over at the Cove.
Sick.
Lucas has the new one, volume 3. The first 2 cover, they're all scenes from my high school agenda from 1996. The first 2 cover the O.J. Simpson trial. We watched the verdict at school in the library all together. I failed my driver's license test is on there. I found a piece of muffin under a table at McDonald's and ate it for money. So all the history's in there. And then the third one is a day in 1995 when I skipped school and went to the Avalon Mall and told people I worked for the Telegram and took pictures of them working. And then I developed those pictures and I put them in my agenda, and now you have copies of them.
That is so epic. I love it.
Who knows why?
They were waiting forever to see their pictures in the Telegram.
Right? They're like, Mom, my Telegram was there this morning. Strangely, they had a disposable camera, but
Did you say your lawyer wasn't very good?
seemed that way. I get executed. We're all getting executed at midnight, so you can't be that good. All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
That was so fun.
Next week, we have a show full of all-stars who are coming back on the program to see us. We'll have our friend John Harris from the Muse News and a musical performance from returning champion Len O'Neill. Until then, for Daniel, Joel, Thatcher, Lucas, Emily, and myself, I'm the Hulkster. Thanks for watching The Hulk Caesar Show.
Bye.